Hi, Mark Homer here, and we're in Aspect, development of 99 apartments right in the heart of Peterborough. In this video, I'm going to read your questions from the community. Before we get started with this video, make sure you like and subscribe. So the first one I've got from Julie says, what are the best investment areas for buy-to-let in the UK? Well, Julie, for me, it's all about yield. So I like to find higher yielding areas, but still areas that I know I can get a good private tenant who's going to actually pay the rent. So I'd usually sort of consult with local letting agents. If I was going sort of Midlands or North, certainly in the North you could find houses for say 20, 30 grand, but you might not be able to get the right tenants in there who are actually going to pay the rent. So in those areas I might be buying stuff at 50,000. My area is Peterborough, one of the cheaper areas within the Midlands. I quite like the balance between sort of yield and also plenty of sort of development, regeneration. 45 minutes to London, that tends to help the sort of capital position as well. So, probably not quite as, high, generally not quite as strong capital growth as say central London. Has been in the last 5 years, definitely been stronger here. But if you took a say 30-year period, maybe we're 2 percentage points per annum behind. But I get all that back in yield plus some. So I think capital and sort of income all rolled up. I would always go for a higher yielding, lower property value area because I think that keeps you safe, I think it creates more income and probably makes you more money over the long term. Jack says, are you buying Dogecoin, Mark? No, I'm not buying Dogecoin. I don't know anything about it and I don't generally invest in things I don't understand. Matt says, I wouldn't advise buying at the moment, even if you're going to hold it for 10 years or so. We're likely to see a big crash. Why would you risk it when you could hold off potentially and pick up bargains? It sounds like you've got a crystal ball, Matt. I certainly don't. I think betting that house prices in this country will be lower in 10 years than they are now is a very bad bet. Not one I'm willing to take and not advice that I would give. I think it is... most points in the cycle are a good time to buy as long as you're getting the right deal with the right yield. Mark says, judging by how quickly new properties on the market are being sold subject to contract in the areas I'm looking in, the feeling I have is the property market is pretty hot. Houses are selling within days of being listed. My guess is that they're going up this year. Yes, I think you're right, Mark. They've gone up quite a lot already. I suspect they will continue to do so. For how long, I don't know. Great video. I'm 19 years old, 100,000 inheritance. I want to invest in the stock market but lack the knowledge. How should I proceed? I think if you're going to be investing in equities, you really need to understand what you're doing. I think you need to sort of read a lot on the subject. So Benjamin Graham, The Intelligent Investor, is a very, very good book which will teach you a lot about value investing. I think you need to read company accounts and start understanding them. If you don't, go on a little course, go on a little online course. I think that's where you really start with these things. Invest for the long term, invest in proper companies that have got good prospects. And if you're starting out, buy tracker funds that are spread around the market. The returns may not be quite as stellar as, I don't know, Bitcoin's done over the last 3 months, but I think the risk is significantly lower, and certainly if you're earlier to it, I think you'll probably end up doing better. Eliza says, because of economic crisis and rate of unemployment, is now the best time to invest money or wait? Well, the rate of unemployment has gone up a little bit, but it's not particularly high, so I'm not really sure that that's particularly relevant. It may go up higher when furlough ends, that's possible. And what investment should I be looking into? Well, I think we've sort of discussed quite a bit about that. I think if you're into trackers or, with property, I tend to try and buy terraced houses or HMOs, high yielding stuff. When will the housing property market finally burst? Efran says, again, Efran, I can't tell you exactly, and neither can anybody else. And anybody who says they know is either naive or lying. That is my view on that topic, because nobody does actually know the answer to that at all. Old Progy says, so this guy thinks negative interest rates are a great opportunity. Let me tell you folks that will mean banks and other financial companies paying to keep their excess reserves stored at the central bank rather than receiving positive interest income. Negative interest rates will be first for the UK. Yes, true. It will mean that savers will have to start paying for the privilege of keeping their money in the bank. Yes, most of that is true. Are negative interest rates about to happen? The risk has probably receded a little bit as we come out of the pandemic now. There's more growth, more inflation. I imagine that at the moment, the Monetary Policy Committee has probably got their eye on holding rates, or, you know, in the sort of further into the future, actually putting them up. But negative rates are certainly there if there's another big shock, a big variant, economy gets locked down, that sort of thing. Ema says, passive means you don't do anything. Whether it's rented to one person or 6 individual, it won't be passive. I don't think a HMO is passive income. Depends. If you've got a manager, they're looking after the HMO, then it could be passive income. You're still going to have to do some stuff. You always do with the property investment. But same with your equities. You're going to need to look at the companies, look at the market, sort of reorder things, recalibrate. Nothing's ever completely passive, just as close to as possible. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I hope you found that question and answer session useful. That has been Mark Homer for Progressive Property, over and out.